Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, gather around to hear a freak of a story that I'd never wanted to tell or I never wanted to even hear. Now, I've always seen random guys when you go to like a wood shop, like what is it called? Oh, lumberyard. When you go to a lumberyard and the guy cutting the wood or milling it, making it smooth, and you get to talking to him a little bit, and then you notice he's got a finger missing. Or he has 2 fingers missing, like this. See that? That's a pretty good example. And I always freaked out about that. And I said, man, I hope it never happens to anyone at Applewood because that freaked me out. And it's scary because I really love my fingers. I think they're a great asset to have, and I really like them. Now, here's a story about how one of my guys cut his finger. Almost off. Literally. Cut his finger. This piece is missing. Like, stuff that should have been there is not there. When I first got in the game in 2016, I was in the market for a table saw. And I was searching everywhere, and I saw this kind of saw. Okay? This is a Imer 250 VA. I saw that because I was working at another place, Healy Landscaping. I worked there for 3 weeks and I got fired. And those are all the saws he had. He had a bunch of these green Imer saws. And I was like, okay, well maybe that's a good one because I've seen it being used, but what if there's a better one? So I started Googling and researching and YouTubing, and I found this saw. It was an IQ something. I don't remember the model number, but here's the model number. And I was like, okay, this is a good saw. It had a lot of good reviews, and it had one major turn on. It was waterless. So how the IQs work, what?
The crow.
How the IQs work is when you go cut a paver, the dust goes inside a vacuum and it gets sucked into a filter and it goes into a little reservoir, and then you gotta spin the thing, okay? It looks cool, okay? Here's the problem. When I got that saw, I spent $3,400 on that saw. And I thought, man, my employees are gonna love it because I already had the IQ, but I was looking for something that was, I don't know, just easier to clean because the water's a mess, there's sludge everywhere, and okay, that's fine. Now, what we did is I went to PBM and I bought this saw for $3,000 and some change. I brought it here, the guys were like, wow, the first week they were all about it. Using it, everything was good, everyone's in love, honeymoon period, let's go, and then start with the problems. Biggest problem with the IQ saw is it draws so much power. In California, even though we were at new houses, it was blowing the circuit breakers like this. Pop, 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 pop. So then after you go click the thing and it's not working, you have to go in the garage, plug it in, flip the breaker, go back. Literally had to do this maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 times a day. A lot. And it was getting annoying because that walk to there takes some time, and everything adds up in business. Remember, boys, time is
money.
Money! Time is money. And if you have something where it's not working, it's a pain in the butt. So I go to Peninsula and I said, hey, why is this happening? And he's like, oh, they draw a lot of power. You need to have a generator with this saw. And I was like, what? I need to have a generator hooked up to this thing? I'm like, why? And he's like, that's just the way it is. Get a generator. So I said, fuck, I don't want to get a generator, but I had to anyway. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a generator for $600-700. So now I'm in around $4,000 with the saw and generator, okay? And keep in mind, I'm the one having to put fuel in the generator, okay? When we hook up to the homeowner's house, electricity is free. You get what I'm saying? It's free. So this thing and the generator is on all the time. It's not like you turn it on, you go cut it, and you turn it off. The generator is just on the whole day, okay? You can see how all those little things add up. Not a big deal because you save a lot of time doing the saw. You don't have to clean the sludge and there's no water and all that. But what I started noticing is I had 2 Imer saws and I had 1 orange saw. And after about 3-4 weeks, the employees stopped getting the orange saw out of the trailer. And I go to them, I said, Carlos, Jesus, Jose, what the fuck? I'm like, I just bought this thing for $4. You guys aren't even using it. He said, oh, Tigre, it's too loud and it's making so much noise, generator on all the time, and we like the other one. I'm like, I can't fucking believe these guys. I'm like, I just spent $4,000. You guys aren't even using the saw. Now, check this out, okay? I spent another, just a little off topic, but I have to tell you, another thing where I thought, oh man, my guys are gonna love it. This is gonna make their life easier. I went out and I got them a concrete mixer, okay? It was a concrete mixer. It was like $800. They put 2 bags of concrete in there, they put water, and they flip a switch, and it spins, and it makes concrete. I thought they would love it, because then it just dumps into the wheelbarrow. They hated it. They never used it. I was like, what? And I said, why? I'm like, Carlos, Jose, Jesus, why? Why didn't you use it? Oh, Tigre, it takes too much time. We don't like it. We like to mix with the shovel and put water and mix it. And I said, okay. So now I have this stupid concrete mixer that I have to get rid of. I literally sold it on Craigslist for $200, okay? Biggest freaking ripoff. I literally lost $600 on that mixer in the matter of, I don't know, freaking 3-4 days. Now I have a dilemma. I have this IQ saw, very loud. Now I have this IQ saw. Fuck me. Now I have this IQ saw, and I'm in $4 grand. And they're literally, they have two Imer saws set up side by side, and they're using them. And they have so many things to cut, the guys are literally waiting in line. So I freaked out and I said, non-negotiable, you have to use the orange saw. Non-negotiable. And they said, okay. So they started using it. And then I get a phone call. And it was a phone call that I did not want to get. I did not want to get these phone calls. And he said, one of the guys cut his finger off. And I said, what? I'm like, how? He said, using the orange saw, cut his finger off. I'm like, what? I'm like, how? Is he okay? He goes to the hospital. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me? After I literally yelled at them for using the orange saw, one of the guys goes and cuts his finger off. And the problem is, the stupid saw is so loud. It's so loud. It's like immensely loud. So he was like trying to freaking, I don't know. Should have been wearing hearing aids, but you know how it is with freaking workers. It's almost impossible to get them. I have to, literally, I made safety glasses non-negotiable, 100%. Mask, I mean, if they want to wear a mask in the dust, that's ideal. I have all these masks provided. Sometimes I pull up and they're stubborn. They're wearing glasses because it's non-negotiable, and I freaked out at them, okay? I told them, literally, the rule is if you don't fucking wear safety glasses, you're suspended for a week, straight up. When you're cutting stone. Obviously, when you're doing mulch, it's not a big deal. But here's the picture of the guy's finger. Literally cut, pieces missing. Chunk gone. Okay, this is a big problem. Now I am left with a dilemma. Afterwards, I go see him at the hospital, whatever, pay his bill, all that bullshit. Everything's fine. He's good. He's back to work. I paid him for a week, I think. He was just chilling at home. And now I'm left with a problem. Now nobody wants to use the orange saw. It's tainted, and now I have a piece of equipment sitting here doing nothing. So I'm like, man, whatever. T, just cut your losses. I was young, boys. I was like 2017, and I was like, cut your losses. Put it on Craigslist, dump it. So I think I freaking dumped it for $1,500. Got rid of it. Now, you'd be like, what kind of saw do you use now? It's the Imer saw. And I have to show you this thing because it is one of the best saws. I've gone through lots of saws. One of the best saws in the game, and for landscaping, for pavers, for cutting. It just requires a little bit of setup time and a little bit of cleanup time. But we have perfected it, and it's really cool. I just want to show you this thing because a lot of people, they've asked, T, what kind of saws do you use? What are those green saws? It's an Imer 250 VA. Okay, the link's below if you want to check it out. It's a great saw. One of my favorite saws, and I have 6 of them. And by the way, I got to tell you, I bought 2 new saws like about 2 months ago, and they were both set up brand new in my trailer, and then my trailer got broken into. Do you remember that? And those guys stole the saws. And these saws are, oh, by the way, these saws are cheaper. They're around $1,500. The IQs are around $3 grand. So you can get 2 saws for the price of 1, and these will last you so much longer. We just run them to the ground till everything's all caked up and it's just trash. And then I get rid of them. I put them on Craigslist. Somebody comes and buys them for $100. Crazy. I don't even know why anyone wants to buy them, but I guess they fix them up, put some new parts in, and then sell them. But I don't really care. Not my problem.
Not my problem.
I don't want to waste time. Remember, time is
Money.
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 These are the saws right here. Imer 250 Combi VA. Okay? Made in Italy. Can you believe that? This is Italian engineering. This is basically the Ferrari of saws. Yes, I know. Now, here's how it works. There's a tray here, and the water is inside the tray. This is the pump. It's inside. The pump gets put in here, and water shoots out here, like this. Boom. And just like that, everything's very clean, everything stays contained. We have found out, in order to prevent overspray, we hook up a little bit of a weed block in here, and it doesn't spray the trailer and everything around it. This is very important, very important. Hook up a little weed block just to catch the overspray. Now, the design of this thing is very nice. The handle, very nice, very ergonomic. Over here. It even has a laser, so once you turn it on, where's that laser at?
Where's laser?
Somewhere. I don't know, actually. Oh, it's here, but you just can't see it apparently. So the laser is here, and it's shooting right in the middle of this. That way you have a nice laser cut. There's measurements here. There is a, like, look at it's running, it's not noisy. The other one, when it runs, it's like, so noisy. And this thing it's just very well made. The motor's well made. These things have broken on me a couple times, but it's usually the pump that sucks the water in. Main reason is too much gunk gets in there and the filter gets clogged and something happens, but these pumps are easy to replace. They're like 40 bucks. You just throw it away, put a new one on. But as far as the motor goes, never had a problem with the motor. Never had any problem with this. I will tell you this, my guys have broken one saw because they mistreated it and the handle completely snapped off. But it was an old saw, so no harm, no foul. We just threw it away. It's all good. But other than that, these saws are absolutely dope, and I want to show you how they're stored in the trailer. Come here. See? It's stored like this in a very nice fashion. They come in boxes like this. I ordered mine from them, I think, or some kind of website. I don't remember. But I ordered them, and everything comes like this. It's really nice. They come straight out of the box, and you store them on a shelf. The legs fold in, and you're good. It's not even a big deal. So if you're looking for a new saw, check these saws out. Fucking sick. Okay, number one. Number two, there's a guy on Instagram named Jeremy, and Jeremy Schweihart. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. But I was looking at his, he does really cool stonework, by the way. Just go check him out. But the dude has IQ saws, and he posted a video on his Instagram about how much he hated these saws because they break all the time. And I messaged him, I'm like, dude, for real? He's like, dude, they're biggest piece of garbage. I hate these saws, and the idea is good, but just the customer service and the technical aspect is trash. And I said, bro, I agree, okay? There are certain things about those IQ saws that I can't stand. These guys solved the problem. They just have a little bit of setup time and a little bit of cleanup time. But once you take the saw out, literally you just empty the water into a bucket, you dump it in a hole, and then you take all the gunk and you put it in your dump trailer and you just literally scrape it out. Easy. And then boom, done. You got a finished product. Here are the videos of his I want to share with you. They're going to be in vertical fashion, so you got to excuse that. But I got to show you, boys. Got to show you. The truth has to be known.
All 3 of my IQ saws have broke in the last 2 days. 3 of them. Crazy piece of junk.
All right, over here at the shop with the boys here. I saw Jeremy's story about his IQ saw. This is one that my guys just all cleaned up, and it's broken. It's been broken for about 2 months, and we have another one because one of them's always broken, so we always have to have 2 saws. So anyways, IQ, I'd love to hear from you if you could help me out with getting this thing fixed. I'm not going to mess with it today, but maybe next week. It won't turn on at all, just like Jeremy's. So I'll just show you. I just plugged it in directly to the wall. Sometimes it was working before when you would hit it, but I don't know. We put new brushes in it. Worked for a little while, but my guy said it was sparking and stuff. I don't know. I believe this is the second arm that I've had on here. I don't know. It's just one of them's always broken. It's infuriating. So I'm going to take a poll here. If you have an IQ saw, has yours broken? Yes or no?